Pelicans fall 121-100. Presented to you by DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of Boo Crew Media and the NBA. Also, Company Burger located 4600 Ferret Street. If you like this video, please comment, subscribe to the channel. Love to hear your thoughts on what went wrong tonight. Join with Five, Chaz, and Lido. We are about to get into this, but before you do that, please make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Took away. Yes, with this. Get your money's worth.
Oh,
yeah, that was bad. Five, let's go with you first. What after a 7-game win streak, Pels did some really good things, but tonight was after that 7-0 start, it was really much just downhill from there.
I mean, you kind of expected something like this to happen. Eventually, it was going to happen. I didn't foresee this, versus Utah, but it's you went from where you were in a city where it's 80 degrees, and now you're in Utah where it's probably 40, 20s or whatever. And I think it was snowing. You come out, you kind of flat. I think when Zion picked up that third foul, it was all down here from there. You couldn't make a three to save your life. I mean, you just seemed out of rhythm in a sense. I think the Phoenix, home game took a lot out of you. I guess that's palsy, but to go on the road versus a Utah team that's kind of been playing well, kind of had their own rhythm. Naw had been playing well, and he just continued that tonight.
Yeah, Lido. Another just lackluster performance from JV. Do you? I mean, it's your guy. I'll let you go here because I wanted to talk to you about this. I don't think he's been very good over the last week or two.
There's a couple people who haven't been very good over the last week.
And we're going to talk about them. We're not going to overreact, but I wanted to get with you and JV because he seems to be struggling a little bit. Like I'm just. What are you seeing?
I mean, he played. He didn't have a great game tonight. He. It felt like he struggled to even catch the passes tonight. He didn't. He looks like he's not in the rhythm. He's a guy who he's not. It's weird because you look at him, he's 7'1", 250 something. You would expect him to just, drop his shoulder sometimes and just go up. But he's kind of like a power finesse type player where he uses a lot of touch more than brutish force sometimes. And I think tonight, especially with Walker Kessler on him, I think this is one of the games where he had one play where Laurie was guarding where he went really quickly. It was a beautiful move, but he ended up traveling. He hop stepped on the same foot. But I mean, I think for him, if he went quicker with his moves instead of getting it, surveying, because you still allowing them to collapse on you, right? I think that's one of the things that I help him, right? Just quicker movements. And I don't know, maybe for him, maybe you start playing him more with the second unit. I mean, obviously you still start him, but I'm saying give him more minutes with the second unit guy so he can kind of beat up on them.
Yeah, and listen, I agree. I think JV is a good basketball player. He brings a lot to this team. I think that he's struggled as of late. Like, for instance, against Lido, he had I forget who was guarding. It might have been Kessler guy. He was bullying him. Like, he was 3 feet from the rim and decided to turn and shoot a 5-foot fadeaway, which I just didn't like at all. I'd rather you play bully ball. But Chaz and Chris was on the live stream tonight. Chaz, will get with you first, but 9% from deep, you're not going to win games. I mean, I understand off shooting nights, but 9%, pretty ugly performance from deep.
Yeah, that's an abomination. It can't happen. And I'm really discouraged with this team's lack of focus when they're playing guys who they may see as a lower tier team. When they're not across from a star player, I just don't feel like the sense of urgency is there. And we've seen that repeatedly this season. Look, 7-game win streak, that's cute. The Kings just won 8 games in a row. You're not impressing me. You got Zion, you got Brandon a lot of the time, when he's available. You got CJ, you got JV. You should be winning 5, 6, 7 games. You know what I'm saying? You should. You played Spurs twice. playing the G League Warrior. You know, you should win. I expect you to win. I have expectations of greatness for this team. But when you come out, pause, a team who just came and beat the shit out of you the last game, it was friendly fire, gave Brandon a concussion, smacked him in the face, threw Zion on the ground, broke his ass, and you come out flat tonight. You come out with no sense of urgency tonight. You don't have it on your mind tonight. Like, come on, man. This is inexcusable.
Okay, I figured you'd go off there. It was a good rant, Chris. Is it an overreaction from Jazz? Do you expect one of those games? that was kind of a spiel there.
You muted, Chris. You muted.
Oh, geez, this guy can't figure out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good. You good.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I was getting in.
Chris, you got to turn it down, brother.
Turn it down a little bit.
We'll let him figure it out.
Yeah.
Chris is having.
Chris.
It's a new mic.
He's struggling. He is struggling with that mic 5. I can't get over that.
Chris came in talking like he was on NPR.
Chris, you're back in the show. Okay, go ahead.
Am I at a reasonable volume now?
Yes.
Yeah, you good.
Okay.
He got his Keith sweat on. You see him?
Yeah. I mean, hey man, yeah, Chaz overreacting, man.
Oh,
I mean, slightly, man. I mean, but he's been consistent with talking about the energy that the team comes out with against, I guess, teams that they feel like that they're better than. But look, I mean, these things do happen. You're talking. It's a reminder, I guess, to folks that you still have. If you want to be considered the best in the West, or this moment of being top in the West, I mean, it's a lot that comes with that, and that doesn't mean the other side of that there's things that this roster could still look to do down the line to make themselves better. A team looked tired in a lot of respects, and off of the run from an energy perspective and beyond that they've been on. That's what comes with it, but it's always good to get a reminder of of things you could still do better. At least from my perspective, I'd be more concerned if they turn around Thursday and repeat this performance.
Yeah. Well said. Look, 5. I think me and you were talking about it. Trey Murphy, I think he went 0 for 4 from deep, 0 for 7 from the field. We all know he's one of the better shooters in this league. The one thing I didn't like about it, 5, I think it was maybe late third. Zion kicks it to Trey in the corner, and he hesitated to shoot. And he's kind of going through a little bit of a slump right now. What are you seeing from him? Does he need to keep shooting more, or should he be attacking more and trying to get into a rhythm? Maybe get to the free throw line where he's one of the best in the league.
Both of them. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. You could have ran with it. No, I just think that's a part of it. I just think he needs to find different ways of finding a rhythm outside of just shooting, right? Because you're gonna be, as a shooter, as most shooters do, they go through lulls, right? Where you miss a lot. I mean, he had a game where he didn't miss. Now he has a game where he missed everything. I mean, it goes hand in hand. It's not as he said. I think he said it himself, like the laws of balance or some crazy stuff like that, where eventually he's gonna come down. But I also want to point out, like, his defense has to be better. He has to be better on the defensive end.
Just a couple of rotations.
A couple, man. Just. You talk about there's been overhelp from him or underhelp. Like, I feel like he's in no man's land. He doesn't know exactly which way to go. And there's been a lot of help from one of his teammates covering him on some of these things. And the other teams that we played against, they've missed a lot of shots. So I think he needs to find himself on the defensive end for him to be better on the offensive end.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I just wanted to say to that point, like, I agree with everything 5 said, but I think that, like, for Trey to be who Trey has to be for this team, like, he can't have a conscience. He could be 0 for 15 and he just got to be like, F it, man. Like, I'm gonna just keep shooting. Like, I'm gonna keep turning this lock until something clicks, right? And it was a couple plays where he had either Lowry or what's the big name?
Olenek?
Olenek?
Or Kessler.
Olenek. He had Olenek on him, and he kind of deferred to CJ when I know he can take him off the dribble, right? Like he's athletic enough to get past him, get to the line, and do whatever he can do at the rim. I also think this game in particular, I think when everybody saw Herb back, they kind of took a defensive lapse, oh, all right, Herb got it.
That's a good point. I want to talk about another guy. This goes whoever wants to answer first, but could Dyson Daniels starting to see himself starting to take a lot more minutes from people? Because I thought again tonight he looked really good. I don't know whoever wants to go first on that.
You know what I'm curious about? Devontae Graham really didn't play in the second half, and I'm curious if. But we did see a lot of Dyson. He played the majority of the second half. I'm wondering if we'll hear more if either Devontae was hurt, if Willie thought that this was just a matchup kind of thing, or if because the question was once everyone gets healthy and you got Herb back, the next step in this is getting BI back. Are we seeing the early stages of Willie trying to find ways to continue to get Dyson minutes even once the roster gets healthier? Because it could do, it could be important for this team. I think he's deserving of in one way or another. It was an interesting observation that we talked about on the playback about like when Devontae's not playing, we're seeing a lot of Dyson. Was that done purposely, or is it just a one game type thing?
Chaz, you want to follow that one up?
I think with Dyson, the only question I really have with him is how is Dyson going to score? When I see a lineup, when you say minutes, do you mean potentially starting, or you just mean taking Devontae Graham's minutes?
I mean, look, floating around starting, but definitely taking Devontae minutes. If Trey's struggling like that, taking Trey minutes, and him and Najee have been pretty productive.
Yeah, and I think it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to argue against minutes for Najee or Dyson at this point, right? I do think Dyson is deserving of more minutes. I think in certain lineups he excels. And truthfully, I don't even think those minutes have to come from Devontae Graham. I think there's a couple guys those minutes can come from. I think there's a couple of guys whose minutes, some of those guys are a little older in age. They've been in the league a long time. I think they could use, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, taken from here, taken from there, to get these guys on the floor, because the energy Dyson and Najee bring every night is consistent. They don't always make the right play, but their intentions are always good. They're always near. They're getting deflections. They causing fast breaks. Those you need guys like that when you go through like the lows of the season. You have games like tonight.
5. Just looking at the box score, I didn't realize this, but Larry Nance played more minutes than Jonas Valanciunas tonight. Do you think Larry's? I mean, I didn't see him getting 23 to 25 minutes a night. Do you think they're overplaying him a little bit? Chaz mentioned early on, maybe in the third, to bring in Billy or Jax or get a flyer out there. Do you think? I don't want them to run Larry into the ground.
I actually thought they were gonna pull. There was a point where Jonas was on the court. I thought, I was like, it was like early in the fourth. I thought they were going to have Billy out there instead, just to give it a different look. I mean, there's only so much Jonas can do, and when he's off, bro, it's just one of those nights, right? I mean, we've seen this happen over and over. I think Billy kind of could have deserved a little bit more run at a point in time where the game was. You could have, went on a run with your second unit rather than just, have it mixed in. Just to give them an opportunity to get back in the game without any. But back to your point, I think Larry has outplayed Jonas minute wise, like maybe the last 10 games or so. So this isn't uncommon. I wish we had another 5 that was athletic, long, and can rebound on the team. But just right now we do not.
You describe somebody. Is that the somebody that shot a 28-foot step back 3? No,
I'm just talking about somebody that could get on the basketball court, rim run, screen, rebound, outrun bigs. Probably would have been perfect for a game like this or a game.
Leo, do you want to talk about that guy? Is it time? Is it time?
What kind of talk you want to do? What like
Yeah,
what?
we got about like
I mean,
10 minutes. I mean, what was that tonight,
I
man?
got nothing positive to say about him. I prayers to all parties involved with him. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't need to see him play anymore. I was talking to one of my. It's crazy because I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and he was telling me like this was a game that he probably could thrive in, and I said like theoretically, yeah, but I was like, I think the last time he played, he got 5 minutes, and he was like a -12, and I was like, how do you get that in 5 minutes? I don't even understand like that. That's legendary. That's crazy. I do want to say one thing though. You said something about we were talking about the Devontae Graham Dyson thing,
Yeah.
right? Like I know Devontae only played 6 minutes tonight, but Devontae was rotating really well defensively. Like he was playing good defense, and I'm not
All
saying
year.
Oh yeah. I
All
mean,
year.
Larry came on this pod and he called it. He said Devontae Graham is a better defensive player than people give credit for. I was watching some of Devontae's closeouts tonight, and like I said, it was only 6 minutes, so a small sample size. But that shit was good, man.
Yeah, I don't know why he got 6 minutes. Chris Chaz, did y'all hear anything
About Devontae?
getting hurt or anything like that? He just
I would
he didn't show up in
assume
the second half, right?
I would just think they probably wanted more size out there for the matchup with Dyson. I mean, by the time the third started, you were already down fucking 15 or something along those lines, and you really don't have the thing with Devontae, and he's been great on defense all year. You really only can play him when you got like a lead or when it's a close game. You don't really got time to fuck around with Devontae when the game's kind of out of hand. You need to generate stops. You need some guys who can do more than just shoot, maybe get to the line. You know, and you didn't ask me about this, but Jax was terrible, and Jax has always been terrible, and Jax is at least 2 teams away from being competent, or he will find himself out of the NBA, and it's sad because he's an extremely talented guy.
Oh, shout out to Kira Lewis coming back, man. First game back.
Yeah,
And shout out to
that
Kyrie.
was-
Kyra, you know what, my man, if you ever hear this, my bad. Kyra. I heard he hates that.
Kyrie Lewis.
Yeah, that's an
Kyra.
anime character.
Yeah. Presented you by. Go ahead.
Kira.
Yeah.
Presented you by Company Burger, located 4600 Ferret Street. We'll go Chris Lito and then 5. But Chris, you have Utah Thursday. I think Phoenix Saturday, Milwaukee Monday. Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
Correct.
That's not an easy stretch. What do they need to do in these next 3 games for you to be satisfied? 2-1, 1-2, just don't get swept. What are you seeing there?
Well, I mean, you've shown you had a really good stretch, and during this period, you've played some good teams. Denver, you've played Phoenix twice. I think that now all of the attention is on you. You have shows that are starting or that are leading with you. I think build off that. If that's who you are, I think winning 2 out of the next 3, I think is I wouldn't say it's mandatory. It's not the end of the world if they don't, but that's what I'm looking for. Milwaukee's they're still figuring out some things. You get that game at home. The Phoenix game is on the road. I would say you would expect them to come out inspired against Utah, get that victory, and figure out what happens at Phoenix. But I think Milwaukee's probably the better game to get, considering it's going to be at home. And like I said, Milwaukee's still without a few guys, and they're figuring out getting back Middleton and company back. But that's it. You need your shots to fall. You can't go 2 for 21 or whatever it was tonight. And I would like to see more than anything. I would like to see Trey Murphy play better basketball and find his rhythm again and stop, thinking on the floor on both sides of the court.
Yeah, he looks slow. Yeah, 5. I mean, next 3 games are tough. It'll be a tough test. You don't have Brandon Thursday or Saturday. Hopefully, maybe Monday, but probably not as well. So, I mean, they're going to go against 3 of the better teams in the league. What do they have to do? We'll go 5 Chaz, and then Lito can close it. But what do they got to do over the weekend?
I mean, yeah, I think even tonight was like the perfect trap game. to be
Mhm.
honest, because you just came off an emotional two game series with the Suns, and you're probably looking ahead to Saturday again against the Suns and Monday versus the Bucks. So I mean, I kind of expected something like this to happen, not to this effect, but same. Um, they have to get under control. I think they have to find the rhythm early, be smart, get stops early. I mean, if you stop this Utah team before they got rolling, you probably put them out of their misery early. They really don't have to worry about too much anything. A lot of their role players got going. Um, I mean, but what they did tonight is replicable, right? They can do this again. They're like what, fifth in scoring. I
Yeah.
mean, if you let a team like that stay around and you got a guy like Mike Conley that's been in this league 10 plus years, I mean, they can find ways to win. They're not dumb basketball players. I mean, they got scorers. They got people that can put the ball in the net. And if you're not stopping them, they're just going to give them all kind of confidence. So if you can kind of get a win on Thursday, and then kind of get healthy, get right for. I mean, because today was Herb's first game back, right? So
Yep.
hopefully Jose's healthy. I saw him kind of working through some stuff, but if you can still get ready for Saturday, try to get a win, and still be ready on Monday versus the Bucks, man, I think that's a huge game, especially for Zion versus Giannis.
Yeah. Chaz, you mentioned like no energy tonight. If they don't show up with energy Thursday, then I think it's time for a proper reaction. What do you see over these next 3 games?
I think the team, truthfully, I think the team would be smart if they punt it Thursday. Because I personally just think the Jazz is a difficult matchup for the team. Right? I think Jonas is going to get played off the floor. Jose is hurt. You don't know if Devontae is hurt. Zion's been playing a lot of minutes. I don't even know what the best version of CJ looks like, because I'm not letting him leave this episode without addressing him. I don't even know what that looks like. I think that contract's going to age like a banana, and I just don't. I'm not thrilled with that contract whatsoever. So I think you just give the guys just give the guys a break. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for your next 2 matchups. They're gonna be more enthused for the Bucks game. Gonna be more enthused for the Phoenix game. I think now Kyrie's back. I don't know if Sebron's here. Give them guys a run. You might need Kyrie to play. You never know what whatever Jose is going through, he needs to rest, man. It's just not worth it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing you want is a bruise turn to a broken fracture, broken rib, punctured lung. You don't want that to happen.
But I thought Chris made a great point on the stream, because Chris said like he don't want to get his spot taken, because that's what happened. With Jose.
He don't want to lose his job, but
right,
he's in no danger of Kyrie taking this job. He's in no danger.
No. Lito, close us out. What are you expecting of these next 3?
Jose is never losing his job. He's never losing this.
Jose not losing this.
Listen, man, you had a 7-game win streak, right? Like, you come out the next game, you get your ass kicked, you lay an egg. It happens. Like, I'm not about to act like the sky's falling. Like, they're fine. You gotta stay in Utah 4 days now. So like, come out the next game and play like you hate being there, right? Like
that's disgusting.
Utah. I'm just saying, it's just
staying in Utah for 4 days.
God, I couldn't even imagine. So I'm saying, like,
when the next game is
Thursday. I didn't even think about that, Chris.
They got in yesterday.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Watch tape. All you can do is watch tape.
I hope you don't watch that
chicken fried steak or something.
Watch Mormon's farm. Never mind. I think that Utah is a weird matchup.
Yeah.
Because in Utah, you got a bunch of guys. I'm not trying to disrespect these guys, but you got a bunch of quote unquote guys who were like cast off. You got some outcasts. You got guys with chips on his shoulder who trying to prove something. Even you saw another night, like not trying to get in the rotation.
Yeah.
I think yeah, he was supposed to. I don't have no problem with that. He was busting our ass. Like,
yeah, I mean,
you deserve to do that, right? I feel like Phoenix probably take that one at home because they're at home. Like, you know how that go. Like the energy gonna be a little different. I hope we come out and we kick their ass at home. Like, that would be great. But I'm more interested in this Milwaukee matchup. I mean, I want to see Giannis Zion. You know what I'm saying? Like the Zion would be the the shorter prototype of that build of player. I think that you can get some I don't want to say get confidence there, but you can get some experience as a team playing a team who you expect to see in at least the Eastern Conference Finals at the minimum for them, right? So like I take that matchup and I'm curious to see how it goes. Last thing I got is Brandon. We miss you.
Go ahead, Fab. Or are you saying?
Yeah, no. There's nothing jazzy about Utah. There's nothing jazzy. Is this and also will this be Drew Holiday's first return to New Orleans as an NBA champion?
Ooh,
As an
that's a
NBA
good question.
champion,
He didn't play last year. He had to play last
He
year. Right?
played, yeah. He played last year because they played. Devontae Graham had like 26 in that game,
Oh,
but it was like Drew and nobody else.
Oh yeah, we won that game.
Yeah,
Did it
we
go to
won that
OT? It
game.
went to OT.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was OT.
Yes, I think Drew. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Before we get off, Chris, I want to and all of us, I want to make sure we thank and shout out Aramis Jones. Like, dude, thank you for everything, all your donations, man.
For real, bro.
We sent you a
Appreciate you,
big
bro.
package, so
Thank
I
you,
wanted to make
man.
sure I had that in my notes, Chris, to literally make sure to thank him. So seriously, thank you. And whenever you're in town, let us know. We can chop it up. But
For real, man. Thank you.
Pels lose 121-100. Don't panic. 7-game win streak ends. Once again, if you like this show, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Presented to you by DraftKings and Company Bird. We'll talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Peace.